13 in the Crappie Classic up on Kentucky Lake. There's a couple of guys come down from Iowa that nobody thought that they had a chance. And they put these things on and they was pulling crankbaits. It's pulling crankbaits and Caps and Coleman, I don't know whether y'all have ever heard of them, but they're the 8-time world champions. But they used these planer boards and they won the Classic up there. And they made a name for themselves, and that's when it come to light that you could use planer boards, you know, to catch crappie with. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out, I'm going to let Tim put the rods to the rod holder. Long line trolling, a lot of people call it pulling. That's pretty much what it is. You put your rods in your rod holders, and you're pulling this away, and you got your lines out, and you got two 16-foot rods, two 12s, two 8s, and two 4s. The reason you do that, that's to keep them from getting tangled. And most of the time we use salt baits. Sometimes we'll use small crankbaits. But you'll run anywhere from 0.8. We've even run slower than that in the wintertime. We run a 0.5 when you can see on the sonar that they're, you know, right on the bottom. We'll run a 0.5. Most of the time you run a 0.8, and you'll just throw a bait, a spawning bait, and that's how you pick your fish up. Tim, we'll
jigs.
Tell them about the jigs, how the different jigs are and everything.
Yeah, we'll run anywhere between the 16th and a 8th, no quarters. 16th and the quarters on our jigs, and that way, on that you can run anywhere between 8 foot and deeper. You know, the most important thing that you're going to find that you're going to use is your depth finder. That's one thing that we really look for. We watch. That's my 2-up goes. He runs trolling mode, and I'll watch the depth finder.
Come on, you sit down.
I'm going to show you what we look for. If you're out there looking for fish, for trolling fish, and you go out there and you're looking at your trolling mode or your depth finder, and you see a big bait ball like that on it. I mean, just covered your screen. And you keep going up there and you keep seeing balls like that. That's what you want to stay away from. Reason being, you just keep watching. If you come up here and you see smaller balls, that is where the crappie has busted them up and separated. These right here are bait balls that are not even separated. So that's why you don't fish them. You look for isolated stuff that's been, the ones that's been broken up, whether you even throw jigs or crankbaits either one. That's what you mostly look for.
A lot of times what he's talking about on these balls, when you get these small ones like this, you'll see some hooks like that. And that's where, that's the actual fish that's on those bait balls. Let's say it's 5, 10, 15, 20 feet, you got your ball. What you want to do, you want to try and get your baits right above the fish. Crappie's eyes are on the top of the head. They can't see down in here, but get your baits down in here. And what I just give you out the handout, it's got a thing on there that tells you on the very back, it's the very back page, it's got the depth when you're long lining, like you're using 1/32 ounce jig.
Can you go around the front there?
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you've got a 1/32 ounce jig and you're running a 0.8 mile an hour, you see that? Top left hand corner? That's what depth that jig is running at. And what this thing, this is called the Troller's Bible. Anytime you want to know, you know, what depth you want to get in, let's say we want to get 10 feet. Which one will hit 10 feet? You see it right there on the 1/16 tandem jigs, 10 to 12 feet. See the middle of the one that's doing a 0.8? Y'all see that there? That'll tell you where you want to get your bait in the water column. Okay? And what tandem jigs is running two at once. most of the time, most people run one. But now just think about this, if you're a single pole guy, and I'm not throwing rocks at these single pole guys. If you throw out there, you reel in, probably could throw out there and reel in 4 times, and it takes you a minute to do that. You've got 8 rods out, you're running 8 baits every time you go to a 32-foot section. See what I'm saying? So you've got a lot more offerings out there. Now think, if you've got double tandems on each one, how many baits you got more?
16.
So see how much more stuff you got out there, and you can cover more area. Now, the beauty of that, when you go to these things, you can run them out there as far as, if you've not got anybody fishing in the bay, you can run them out there. You can have a 75-yard spread. When you start catching on one side, the fish is bunched up over there. So what you want to do, you want to draw your spread in and go back over that same spot. Name of the game to me, us, we want to catch a limit. If we catch a limit in 45 minutes, we can go home and mow the yard, drink a glass of iced tea. But a lot of times, you know, people throw rocks and say, that's too many rods. Well, what difference it makes? The name of the game is catching a limit. You catch it 45 minutes, what's it matter? So, go ahead.
And like he said, when you get, and we'll even run up to 10 rods. When you run up to 10 rods, you can take the colors. You know, you can run 10 different colors.
Whereas
And
if you're one pole,
Yeah, when you run one, you have to know what you're doing. But the 10 different ones that helps you isolate the colors, you know, like say they start hitting this black blue, chartreuse, which is one we like. Okay, then what we're going to do is start changing a couple more to that same color. And the colors that they do hit most, we're going to have them on by the end of the day. We're going to have that same color on just about all of them, the ones they hit.
you catch 10, let's say you catch 3 fish in 5 minutes on a black blue chartreuse. It don't take rocket science to figure out what y'all do with the other 7 rods. You know, see what I'm saying? So that's how we get to where we're going.
And that works for these two crankbaits. This one we picked up, that's the one that we use. These we use heavily. We'll run 8 to 10 pound test because you don't want to lose them. Trolling 8 of them at a time, you know, you hit brush pile, you can lose them in a hurry. You use a heavier line to do those. We do the same thing with others, but we go deeper water. You can throw anywhere between 15 and on Douglas, we was what? 80 feet a few years ago. The problem is, you know, you watch your depth finder and those fish are suspended in a certain area.
25-foot water,
Yeah.
but it's 80 feet deep.
Yeah, 80 feet deep.
Above the thermocline.
Yeah, and you're pulling it through. And like I said, there again, same thing. You can isolate your colors in a hurry by using those.
On your long lining now, you always want your rod tips down where they're about a foot off the water. And that's the way you do that. Now, the difference in long line and planer boards is when you put the boards on, these things float. And you'll put them on and you want to change the way your rod holder is in the holder. It will go like this. Now, anybody guess why? Think about that board on the water, across the top of the water. You've got 5, 6, 7, 8 mile an hour wind that day. You've got waves coming. That rod tip, that line coming right here, if it's laying down like this, those waves are going to get that.
That's going to make the board
Make the board go like that. So you got to have your rod tips up high. These planer boards right here were made. Guy in Athens, Tennessee, he made them about 15 years.
Around that
Yeah, 2000. He's quit making them, went out of business. There's a board called the Offshore, and they may have some of them here. You have to look at the catalog. But Offshore makes these boards similar to those. The only difference is when you put these on these types, they're stationary. Offshores have got an alligator clip on them. And when you get the fish on, that clip will pull loose and it'll slide down to where you're reading. The reason I don't like them is I've had a fish on before, it slid down to the jig, and when it hit the jig, it created slack and the fish got off. But those are some of the best boards he ever made, and a friend of ours made those, designed those. He started out in a swimming pool in his backyard. He was a walleye fisherman, and he got to think that if we can walleye fish with these things, there ought to be some way to crappie fish. So he worked and worked and worked, and he finally got them designed. A lot of people, it's kind of comical. We've had people that's come by us and looked at them, and they'll not say nothing. They'll come by and just look. And every now and then they'll ask, what are them things? And we'll tell them. And I even had a guy up on Telco Lake. He tried to buy every board that I had. He said, I'll give you $100 for all your boards today. And I said, buddy, I don't want to sell it. But it's kind of comical. You know, we've had guys that we've seen them go back to 2 or 3 weeks and fish the same place. They went and bought some balsa wood, and they try and make this. If you hadn't got it perfect, that balsa will be sitting up there way high on top of the water. First time it's 3 mile an hour wind, here they are. But you get what you pay for.
And these stagger. You had other orange one up there.
Yep.
Or bring me the orange one.
Oh.
Come over. These things stagger. You want to learn either long line or board. You want to run your longer rods up front and stagger them, get shorter as you go back. That way you're
That's
tied.
on long line.
Yeah, on long line. These right here, what these do, when you let them go, say we let 2 of them go, so me and him let these go. Yeah.
Now the back,
Yeah.
we're gonna go, these are the back rods. We're gonna let 30 feet of line out. These are gonna go out. See how each one, each side's angle different. These are gonna go out 30 feet. Next rod, we're gonna let them out 25 feet. Look like a flock of geese. You know how a flock of geese, that's what this is gonna look like going down the lake.
They're gonna be out. The second will pull out a little farther. That way they're easier to get in. You can pull them right in between each other and they don't hang up.
And when you get a fish on, it's beautiful. They go like that. I've even had, when you get a good fish on, they'll go under. But, and you learn, I call these for kids. You learn something these things. You're going along there and all of a sudden that line starts like that. You picked up something like weed or pine needles or something like that. After a while, you know, you'll learn to reel it in, clean it off, and pull it back out. You don't throw these. A lot of people buy them, they'll sling them out through there, you don't throw them. You just speed the line out as much as you want till you get your pattern. We've had, I've been fishing by myself. He has too. We've had 8 rods out at once. Had 6 fish on at the same time. And had to reel them in. All you can do is just reel them in and put them in the boat. Get them off the line, put them in the live well, and untangle everything. But when you run through a school, you know, they can all go down at once. It's something beautiful.
The beauty of these two is your depth. You can run these up to 1 foot of water. A lot of, you cannot long line up in that shallow, you're gonna get done. You can run these, put your bait so far back, you can run your, there again, the colors, you can isolate your colors. With these right here, you can isolate your colors and you can isolate the depth. You run 10 rods, you have one's got 5 foot of line, one's got 6 foot, one's got 7 foot of line behind it. Okay, say you pull one at 6 foot of line 2 or 3 times. Well, that right there tells you where those fish are at. They're about 5 foot deep because of the drag, it's gonna pull that bait up here, you know, a foot. And there you go back, and just like the color, you set each one of them about the same, at the same depth. Because those fish are unbalanced in the same place. Or they'll be suspended or up in like in shallow water. But you can put these, we've run these in what, 2 foot of water?
I've run them shallow that. I've had a foot and a half of line out behind the dog. And I've run them. What you do, you take your boat. And let's say your boat is shallow, you can get it 3 feet. But up in there, 2 feet, a foot and a half. Take your boat and turn it real fast. What that does, it runs in boards up in there in that foot of water. We've had them just going down like that. We've had just run them on one side and just run a circle, catching fish. But it's a lot of fun when you learn what you're doing. It's like anything else, you know. What is they say about riding a bicycle? You know, you got to start, work your way up. But once you learn these little techniques and what to do, it's fantastic. But a lot of people say, well, when the spawn's over with, you know, this is over with. Wrong. It's another new ball game, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right. Then you go back to the long liner, it's a crankbait. That's the baddest thing I've ever done in my life. You catch these suckers up in the last July, 1st August. You know, lay in most of the creek channels, they'll be 18, 25 feet deep. Use Bandit 300 flicker shells. You'll run, instead of the 1.2 mile an hour, we've run as fast as 2.8. And that's humming, that's flying. We run up and down the creek channels and on the ledges. When you see something like this, you can almost count 8 or 10 rods that will come. Well, Jim's seen it, but it's a lot of fun. It's something, you know, it's something that's different. And Kid there, he's dock shooting man. But this is what we do, and that's what he do, and I respect him, and I know he respects me.
I'm learning right now.
One thing we have to have on rod setups, and there's a lot of good rods out there.
We're not trying to sell you
Yeah, we're not trying to
just
sell
telling you
We're
this.
just telling you
This is
this.
true experience.
Yeah, this is true experience. One thing that we have to have, like I said, B&M, Genco, these are crappie maxers the same way. You have to have a tight backbone, and you gotta have a tip that gives. Reason being, if you get those stiff rods, a real stiff rod, that's why they call them paper mouth. Like you said, you run 2 miles an hour, you're gonna jerk that bait right through that fish's mouth.
If you've got them bass rods on there, real stiff rods, and they hit it, lots of times they'll get off.
Yeah, you're losing.
This stiff rod,
Yeah.
it loads up slow.
Yeah, it'll pull back like this real slow. It gives more than the stiff ones does, where they'll just pop like that and pops it out of the mouth. But the soft tips, the fast action tips on them, that's one, whether we're long line jigs or whether we're doing the crankbaits, that's one item we have to have on rods.
Those other handouts that I give you there, like it's got on the back, it's got the what size jigs and what depth. But right here's another on the front. This is where crappie are during the water temperature. You know, you was talking about, you went early spring.
Hey, Chris,
you never did have no luck.
can you go back up to the front here where we can all,
You never did have no luck. Well, this tells you what to look for, when, and then there's a water clarity thing on there too. Lots of people's got questions on what color to use when the water's muddy, what color to use when the water's stained, what color to use when it's clear. Of course, lots of times you don't have fish will make a liar out of you. You know, you'll say use this, and you're using something else, and they're just biting it every time you throw it out. But day in and day out, those are what the pros and the biologists say that has the best luck on the days when the water is, however the water is, whether it's stained, muddy, or clear. And on the muddy now, we had a day last year, I mean, it's as muddy as I've ever seen. And we had on solid black, and we was catching fish, and there was people coming by, and that's another thing. They'll come by and they'll say, what color you use? Well, we'll tell them. They'll go to dig it, put it on. They don't ask what speed you're going, and they don't ask, what else is it?
What jig head you use?
What weight jig head you're using. So if they're using a 1/16, and we're using a 1/32, and they put the black on, and we're catching on the black, and they're not, then they're way too shallow in the water column. So that's 3 questions you want to ask. You know, most crappie guys don't mind sharing information. I don't anyway. I like to see other people catch fish, but it's a lot of fun. Planer boards, like I say, you can look up on the offshore, and I think there's another brand, but I can't think what the name of it is right off my head. Yeah. As far as social media goes, we've got crappie.com. If y'all got a computer, there's a lot of good free information on there. There's an online magazine that comes out the 1st of every month. It's called Crappie Now.
yep,
And it's real important. It's got videos on there. It's got stuff from different parts of the country. You know, they'll show different techniques and
What was
everything.
that called?
Huh?
What'd you say it was?
Crappie.
Crappie Now.
Copy now.
Yeah, Crappie Now. It's an online magazine, and it's free. And then you got the Chattanooga Fishing Forum that you can look on there. And a lot of the guys, once you watch, you know, their posts on there, they'll post, you know, how many fish they catch and stuff like that. Once they kind of get to know you, converse with them back and forth, you know, they'll tell you what they're catching. They won't give you no GPS locations, but they'll tell you close, you know, like such and such bay, you know, where they're catching fish. But we enjoy crappie fishing, and we've got Chattanooga Crappie Club here that we belong to. We have our tournaments on Sunday.
Got one
What
this
month
Sunday.
is it? June, July, and August we don't fish.
July and August.
July and August, got 2 months that we don't fish. Because the, you know, extreme hot water, it's tough to even get a limit. But anyway, we enjoyed sharing with you today. If you've got any questions, you know, just throw them at us. We'll be glad to answer them if we can.
I want to end up what I was at a seminar years ago, and what Ronnie Capps, it went over my head. I listened to what he said, and I went for years and just did not do what he said. He said, find one technique that you like. Don't matter if it's trolling, dot shooting, brush, spider rigging. Find one technique and become the best you can be at that technique. Because when you start bouncing around different techniques, that'll really confuse you. But if you become the best at one technique, you're always going to have one to fall back on. You know, it's always in the back of my mind, well, listen, I can go back and dot shoot and I can catch them fish. You know, even when you're having a bad day. But find one technique that you really like and become good at that technique. Because we did that, you know, we've trolled and we've tried doing some other stuff, and it didn't work out.
We always come back.
We always come back to what we do. That's what we had to do.
Yeah. And there's months that we strike out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we'll have fish on there like this. They won't bite. You know, if we knew why, we could fix that. But you know, they just won't bite. You pull through them, you know, you won't get bite. When the fish get shallow, that's when we shine. We enjoy it. We enjoy sharing with you guys. If you might think you want to be a part of the Chattanooga Crappie Club, see this guy right here for you.
Yeah,
later.
you'll learn a lot from them. A lot of these guys here, they'll teach you more than you can learn, you know, looking on TV or internet in a long time. They'll teach you more in a week than you could ever learn there. Because they are free with their information, and they're just all around good guys.
Do you guys know that last it wasn't spring, it was like it's May, that the new world record crappie was caught in the state of Tennessee, right up here at Loudon, Tennessee. Are y'all aware of that? It weighed 5'8". I think it was 5'8". But anyway, right here, I'm not trying to sell this. I'm just trying to John Deere green. That's what the kid caught it on. Was that grub right there on a 1/16 inch jig, and it's a beast. You ought to see it. He got it mounted. He's trying to, you know, get on the touring circle. You know, it don't seem like nobody warm up to him. I think it's sad. It's like that. Sometimes, you know, I reckon bass is king, and I'm not throwing rocks at bass, but you know, he caught it in a private pond, and a lot of people was throwing rocks at him for that. Except George Perry, 1964, still holds the world record largemouth bass, and it was caught in a pond in Georgia. So there you go. Enjoyed sharing with you guys.
Do y'all have any questions?
You briefly said something about clear water and muddy water, but what is that stained water?
Stained water is in between.
Oh, okay.
If it's not perfect, if you can't stick your rod down in the water and see it down in there 3 or 4 feet, it's in between. It's probably what you call stain. Some reservoirs don't never clear up. They're kind of a brackish color. And in Grenada, in Mississippi, it's never been clear.
It's never. It's always
You can
muddy.
let it sit there, and and it never rained for 6 months, and it'd still be muddy because it's over there in the flatlands. And when they get those winds, that water running over those sandbars and stuff muddies up, and that's why it's like that.
Can you talk about your electric trolling motor
Oh yeah,
and the trolling plate?
that's one of the. It's not a have to, but it sure helps things out. If you've got a iPilot with the remote trolling motor, not the foot control, but the remote. What you can do, he's in the back, usually catching most of the fish. I'm in the front, and I'm running the trolling motor, and I've got on my new trolling motor, I've got like it's 5 tracks. Like if we make a circle around the place and we catch a bunch of fish, I can record that track, and then when we get back to where we started, I can hit start. Never touch the trolling motor the rest of the day. It's on cruise control. If I want it on a 0.8 miles an hour and the wind goes to blowing, it'll let off or speed up according to keep you on 8 miles, just like cruise control in the car. It'll take me that same track all day long unless I want to get it off of it and go another track. But it's a lot of people try and do it with a regular foot control, and you can, but it's a little bit of a headache. Trust me, if you do it when you wake up the next morning, you're gonna have a crick in your neck. But there's a little bit of expense, into doing this type. But you can buy some other guys buy the handheld trolling motor, that you maneuver like this, and they'll put it in the back, and they'll run it, they'll steer from back there instead of the front. What else?
Do you know what style and what pound test line was used when they set this?
I'm gonna
depth
guess
chart?
I'm gonna guess around 6 or 8.
6.
Yeah. Of course, the lighter line you use, the deeper your bait's going to go. It makes sense. It's not diameter. It's not. It'll go further, deeper in the water column.
He's talking about the trolling motors, the trolling plates too. Running the crankbaits, we run the big motor because we're having to run
Right.
it fast. If you run a trolling motor all day at 2 miles an hour, 4 or 5 hours, you're dead.
But I've just bought a brand new trolling motor. It's supposed to have a maximizer on it, where I don't have to run that big motor no more. So we're going to be able to stick with the electric trolling motor right now for a while until it makes a lighter on us. What else? Don't be bashful. Enjoyed having you guys. We're going to be back again.
You want to talk about line counters?
Well, yeah. Tell him about share with about line counter readings. This is on crankbaits on.
Yeah, the line counters, you can take those line counters and it actually counts how much line you go down. And is it in here? The trolling.
No, wait a minute.
They've got a trolling guide that you can look online and know and find. And it tells you exactly like a 65 feet running 2 miles an hour. That thing tells you exactly how that bait is running.
Crankbait.
And the line counters, again, you can run 65 here, 70 here, 75, 80, and just keep getting the line. And there again, it zeroes down what depth those fish are exactly at.
Both them front ones go down twice. That's what we're going to do with the other
Yeah.
3. They're fixing to go to 60.
Yep.
Where you can get in that window, be right in. Now, sunlight, another thing. You start early in the morning. Lots of times we found this crankbaits. I don't know if it's necessarily true for jigs. So when we're trolling crankbaits, and as the water heats up, they're looking for the air conditioning. They're going down a little bit. So we might have to tweak them a little bit and get them let more line out where they'll get deep.
Or speed up just
Yeah,
a hair.
or speed up.
Speed up just a hair.
Yeah.
You think it's cheating those people that use the electronic to see where the fish are?
No,
That's
about everybody's got them. That's a good point.
Yeah, good question.
I mean, I feel like it's cheating, but
Okay.
I know everybody does it.
Let me share with you. Tell her or tell everybody about the day you went with Darren looking at them docks. You could see the fish on there, but he wouldn't stop. Tell him.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
him how precise.
Yeah, you can go through there and you can count those fish. You can see where they're at on those docks.
But he was going by This is a friend of ours, he's
Yeah.
in the East Tennessee Club. And he could see fish on the screen. He asked him, why aren't we stopping and catching those fish? He said, they're small fish. He kept it going. He went by 8 or 10 docks. And finally stopped. And he said, what are we stopping for? He said, there's some good ones in here. First time he flipped in there, he pulled out a 13-inch crappie.
You
And
can
that's
tell
how,
the size of
that's
the fish
how
that way.
precise
Yeah.
his electronics is. I mean, that's it's almost like cheating, like you said. But I would guess, what's he got, $12,000 worth of electronics on these?
Easy.
Yeah.
So you guys need to go try the boundary waters where you got no motors and no electronics.
Yeah.
I fished between Minnesota and Canada for years. And you really learn technique.
Yep.
You want to learn how to catch the fish. Start fishing without that stuff.
Yeah.
And then bring your tools in.
Both these clubs are on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Chattanooga and East Tennessee. And they have monthly tournaments. And it's interesting, if you go on there, you'll see their board like this. And it'll have a list of the guys fishing. And it'll have their weights. Do the math, the last what bar, they had, it's a 7-fish limit. Had 4 teams that weighed over 11 pounds for 7 fish. Do the math, then good crappie.
I have to get some information on that crappie club just for the tournament. And
Yeah.
when I fish for crappies, I don't have time for a whole bunch of rods.
Yeah.
Because usually one rod's all you need.
Okay. Well, it's for everyone their own. That's what my mom used to say.
Well, what got us into it on that aspect is we fished the Crappie USA Crappie Mac, and probably 80% of those tournaments, if you're not doing this or spider egging, you're going to get beat. I mean, that's the higher the tournament is, because those guys are good. And it's like I said, with the unlimited rods, and they're running even more than us.
Yeah. And
They'll run 16 rods out the front of the boat.
60% of them will be spider rig.
Yeah.
And that's minnows on every rod. We fished twice last year.
Yeah.
And there was what 44 teams in that division we was in. What did we come in?
Six or seven.
Something like that. We had a fish die. But we was really proud of that, because we had right at almost 9 pounds.
9 pounds.
And
Why?
I heard someone say that that Weiss Lake was the crappie capital of the world.
Well-
and I'm from South Dakota, and the lakes, like the what do you call it, glacier lakes and stuff. So most people say that we're the crappie.
Yeah. Well, they've got the name for that, but if you ask me, the best kept secret in the United States is right here. You just got to get out there and do it right here in your own backyard. Look at the bass. We've got a great reservoir. This is the best bass fishing lake probably in the United States, but nobody knows about the crappie. Anything else? Glad to have you guys. Come back tomorrow.
You guys gonna stick around and answer questions?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll stay here as long as you want to stay. Thank you guys for coming. We like families. Got what?
Yeah, don't they-
Okay, didn't know about this. Look here, there's pluses to coming to these seminars.